How are you all doing? This is Vertic Designs here, and this is another background removal tutorial. The last one we talked about the pen tool and how that is the best way to remove the background. This time I'm going to show you a much quicker and easier way of doing it, and it is just going to be almost as accurate as the pen tool. First thing you want to do is import your image by simply dragging it into the work area or going to File and Open. You also want to go to the layer, and where it says background, you want to left click on this lock to unlock just as accurate as the pen tool. First thing you want to do is import your image by simply dragging it into the work area or going to File and Open. You also want to go to the layer, and where it says background, you want to left click on this lock to unlock it to be a layer. You want to hold Alt on your keyboard and use the scroll wheel to go up so you can zoom into your image. If you can't do it this way, you can go to the zoom tool, which is right here, and that will let you do it that way. The tool that we're going to be using is the third tool down. To get to it, you can either press L on your keyboard, or you can go here and right click on it, and it will be the bottom one. Basically, the way that this tool works is similar to the pen tool, where it uses dots to go around and select certain objects, but this one will automatically detect where the outline is, and the computer will plot it down for you. And all you got to do is pretty much guide it around the object that you wanted to select. Now, in the last video, I mentioned that it's not as accurate, and that is true, but you can adjust the settings to make it more accurate. There's a few things that you need to know, first of all, about the selection tool and the magnetic lasso tool. The first thing is these options right here. If we only use this option right here, which is the first one, and we create a selection right here, and we want to, let's say, add on to this one, we won't be able to. It will give us a separate selection. It will give us a brand new one. If we press Ctrl and D to deselect this and select the second option, this will allow us to add on to this right here. And you can see now you have a plus next to it. And if we create another one, we now have two shapes inside each other which merged together. The third option is all about cutting the current selection. As you can see, we have the opposite effect now. It is turned into a minus, and we can actually take it away from here, and we could just cut this into a smaller custom shape. The very last option is to create a custom shape inside of this one. And what I mean by this is if you have a selection here, but you only want this bit here, you click on this one and only select this area right here. So that is the 3 selection options you should consider and know. The 2 other options next to that one is feathering. And if you don't know what feathering is, it pretty much adds a nice soft effect around your selection. You can see that the image has a soft edge around it. It pretty much adds a nice soft effect around your selection. You can see that the image has a soft edge around it. If you're looking for nice sharp edges, then you wanted to have it on 0. Okay, so the last 3 options, these are also really important to know. What these options do is these actually determine how well or how bad the magnetic lasso tool works. For example, if we look at the width and contrast and frequency, the width of it is how many points it will plot between each one. So if we have this on 10 pixels, it will plot it down every 10 pixels. The contrast of it is how well it can determine the line that you are wanting to select. So if your image was difficult to select, you can increase the contrast and it will try to pick up colors much better. The frequency of it is how many points it will plot in total. The first thing you want to do is pick a corner or an area which you're going to start. It's a lot easier if you start at the bottom and work your way all around this image. You want to create the first point by left clicking, and then all you got to do after that is let the computer do the work for you. If you wanted to, you can manually add them yourself. So as you can see right now, I'm adding some of them on the edges and the corners to help it be more accurate. But you can start to pick up your speed, as you can see, and it is doing a really nice job right now of selecting our image. The corners are usually the ones that it might struggle with. As you can see down here, it sometimes struggles to pick up certain colors, and that is something you don't need to worry about it right now. We can easily fix that later on. All you got to do is go back to the first dot and connect it up. Now that you've created the selection, we are also going to edit it and fix the parts that we didn't do. We're going to zoom into this area right here. I'll start off with this first. Okay, so the next tool that we're going to use is called the Polygonal Lasso tool. This one is similar to the pen tool, but this one doesn't have any points. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this area right here. For us to be able to edit this selection right now, you need to make sure that you are selecting this option right here. You will now see it is a plus, and to do the opposite to this, you hold Alt, and now you see it swapped over to a minus. So all you got to do is hold Alt, click the first point, and then you can let go of Alt and go around the parts which you don't need and the parts that you want to cut out. Once again, hold Alt and click on it. Select the parts that you don't want. We're going to go further down and also fix this area here. So this time, rather than holding Alt, all you're going to do is click on this line here and select the parts you want to be added to it. Okay, so another useful thing about this tool is if you wanted to, you don't have to go to the first dot. You can connect it up from here by holding Control, and then you'll see the icon changes to a circle, and we can connect it from here. If we left click, it is now selected. We're also going to fix this area right here where it goes out slightly. Once again, hold Control and click on it, and there we go. So if we look at this image right now, Control, and then you'll see the icon changes to a circle, and we can connect it from here. If we left click, it is now selected. We're also going to fix this area right here where it goes out slightly. Once again, hold Control and click on it, and there we go. So if we look at this image right now, it's looking really good. Okay, so all you got to do now is go down to this icon right here and create yourself a mask. As you can see, the background is now gone, but we can always switch back by disabling the mask. As you can see, the background is now gone. It goes out slightly. Once again, hold Control and click on it, and there we go. So if we look at this image right now, it's looking really good. Okay, so all you got to do now is go down to this icon right here and create yourself a mask. As you can see, the background is now gone, but we can always switch back by disabling the mask. So if you hold Shift and click on the icon, it will disable the mask, and if you hold Shift again and click, on it, it will show you the image with the mask. If yours is the opposite, let's say yours is like this, where the background is actually cut out and the person isn't, all you got to do is press Control and I, and that will invert it. Okay, so to fix up the hair, what we're going to do is we're going to use the brush tool, and we are going to select a black color. Make sure